health issues, many men still find it challenging to discuss their struggles. If you're one of those and you're feeling it hard to actually discuss what you're feeling, your emotions, then stay tuned to this topic. And according to the World Health Organization, suicide rates among men are significantly higher than among women globally, and stigma remains one of the biggest barriers to seeking help. So today we're actually going to explore the reasons behind this, the unique challenges men face, and how we can all contribute to breaking that down, inshallah. Joining us even on our screens as well is Dr. Razia Rangrage Osman. Assalamu alaikum, doctor. Welcome back to Urban Women.
Wa alaikum salam, Sister Razia. It's so good to be back.
Alhamdulillah. I think this is such an important topic that we shed light on, because we know of stereotypically, it's like men don't really feel emotions. They're also brought up to kind of numb themselves, to be the strong ones. But what's happening inside is very much similar to how women also experience problems. But we are the ones that will just say it and get it out there. And, it seems like we're all over the place. Let's go for it. Why do you think there's still such a stigma around men openly discussing their mental health? And also, how can we begin to change this?
Okay, so I think the word stigma comes in if we assume it is self-imposed, that they have their own part to play in it, or there's any shame in it. So I think the men in our community, and not just ours, I can't say it's a Muslim people thing, I think it's across the board, there's a whole different expectation of them. Like, they suffer just as we suffer, they feel just as we feel, but they're not allowed to cry. Like, big boys don't cry. They're not allowed to show vulnerability from a very young age. I think all of us are guilty of not being comfortable in creating spaces for them to be vulnerable. So I think they are raised up, and they interject this expectation that we must just go through whatever we're going to, and we're not allowed to show emotion, or at least no negative emotion. We're allowed to maybe be angry, we're allowed to be happy, but we are not allowed to be sad. Razia, I can't tell you, just a simple thing like grief is universal. If you lose someone, if you lose a job, if you lose your health, or even at a funeral or whatever, you would notice that our men folk shy away from just crying, or the tears fall off, they feel so weak, and you see them moving away. And this is a universal experience, right? There should be no shame in crying, but there should be no shame in sharing this. But for whatever reason, it is glorified that they lack emotion. Because if they don't cry, don't show emotion, they go, mashallah, so much of sabr, such a strong one. I mean, we glorify it. That's why I'm saying the word, because I want people to become aware of. You may not intend doing it, but possibly, you're also doing it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, we know that men and women, we are created differently, right? So what would you say, what are some of the most common mental health challenges that men face? You've highlighted that it's okay for them to express anger and so forth, but what would you say are their common mental health challenges, and how might these also differ to those that we women may experience? I think we're having a little problem. Our internet seems to be lagging here. It's kind of stuck at the moment. Okay, Dr. Razia, you're back with me.
I'm back. Sorry, man, it is lagging on both sides. So I think you were saying something about it's slightly different for women. Did I get that?
Correct. So what would you say are the most common mental health challenges that men actually face, and how are they different to what we as women experience? So we're having a little bit of a problem. And we've lost her. Technology, I always say this, you got to love it, and then you also have to have some sabr. There she is again. It's almost like, what? This question doesn't want to be answered, or it shouldn't be answered. It's like a sabotage going on here. Let's try and get Dr. Razia Rangrage Osman back. Let's find out about this very important topic. I know there's a lot of urban men that are listening in, and it's so important that you understand that you have been designed to feel emotions. So how do you actually manage these emotions? How do you heal in a healthy way? How do you get the help that you need in order for you to be the shepherd of your flock? How do you manage to stay strong authentically and not just try and put up this facade that I'm all good, but slowly broke down inside. Let's chat more with Dr. Razia Osman. We may have to get her back on the line, but if we can get her back on our screens, it'll be great. But for now, we'll go for a quick break and try and get her back. Stay tuned to Urban Woman.